Never assume your recovery is a sure thing. Maybe you've relapsed and recovered multiple times, and so you think, there's no way I would relapse. There's no way I would go back to my substance of choice, or alcohol, or food, or gambling, or sex, or whatever. There's no way I would go back to it. There's so many consequences, and I've learned my lesson, and maybe I've even recovered and relapsed multiple times. But let me say this to you, okay? And I'm going to read it, so I don't want to mess this up, because this is powerful. At least I think so. The strength of your recovery is not measured by the intensity of your feelings, but by the quality of your strategy. In other words, your relapse prevention plan. So your recovery is as durable and resilient and strong as the systems you've built around you that help sustain your recovery. Not by you just want it really bad, or you feel really strongly about recovery and the recovery lifestyle and sobriety. I'm not going to diss your feelings or the strength of your feelings or the conviction of your feelings. Your feelings are wonderful. They're great. I'm glad you feel so strongly. That's important. Okay, I'm not discounting that. But if that's all you have is a strong feeling, and no other systems set up in your life of accountability or positive alternative foci, then your drug of choice, and good sleep, good diet, good relationships, exercise, spirituality, mental health resources, mental health tools. If you don't have those in your life in a predictable, regular, consistent, self-disciplined way, you're setting yourself up for relapse. And that's scary, because maybe you don't want to relapse and you've got all those strong feelings. That's great. But you've got to have those strong systems. So I want you to think not in terms of the depth and intensity of your feelings, but I want you to have a strategic mindset. Take on a strategic mindset. Let me look around at the systems in my life that I've built, and how strong are they? How consistent are they? How good am I at using them? Maybe I need to reimagine these systems. Maybe I need to tinker with them and adjust them. How well are they working? Could they work better? Think about that. Review that. Maybe seek out a coach or an AA sponsor or a counselor, a chemical dependency counselor, and have that conversation. Maybe you don't feel like you need counseling and things are going really well. Just seek somebody out and have a review of your relapse prevention plan. And maybe you've been in recovery for like 2 years. I've known a lot of people who've relapsed at year 3 or at year 4 or at year 5. Every relapse can be devastating, but the further you go into recovery, it's just my opinion, the relapse at year 7 seemed very devastating. The relapse at year 1, I don't think are as devastating. Now, please don't take me to task on that. The relapse at year 1 for you could have been really horrific. I totally understand that, but it just seems like the farther along you go in recovery and then you relapse, it's just, there's a quality to that that's extra hard, relapsing at year 8 or something, or year 9. So always be on guard. The price of freedom is vigilance. And so if you want the freedom of recovery, be vigilant about relapse, and have good systems built up around you. And you can do that. You've probably got people in your recovery network who you can have those conversations with. Ask them those questions. Ask them, how strong are your systems? And check in with them. That's a gift you can give to somebody else. So, yeah, let me know what you think. How strong is your system? Am I totally off on this, or is there something to this perspective that rings true?